Karl Rove's new conservative victory project, a super PAC offshoot, could be the spark that ignites an all-out civil war for Republicans. Rove says the new group is a response to 2012 election losses in what looked like easy races, losses Rove blames on bad candidates. So what's a bad candidate? Well, several names have come up, like Todd Akin of Missouri or Richard Mourdock from Indiana, who both lost after going off topic to make easily attacked comments about rape. That's something Rove wants to ensure doesn't happen again. His group will donate to whoever they feel are the most electable conservatives in 2014's primary races. It's a counter to the Tea Party's success at taking down establishment figures like Mike Castle and Dick Lugar, who Rove believes would have won if they hadn't been unseated by more conservative but less electable challengers. Rove's not alone. The GOP's losses in 2012 caused a lot of soul-searching, with many coming to the conclusion that the party had become too alienating. Louisiana Governor Bobby Jindal even dubbed his party the stupid party.
It's time for a new Republican Party that talks like adults. It's no secret we had a number of Republicans that damaged the brand this year with offensive and bizarre comments. I'm here to say we've had enough of that.
But while Rove and others talk about electability, many conservative writers and commenters hear something different. An attack on conservatism and the Tea Party. Conservative backlash against Rove was swift and intense. Claims that he's not a conservative and only cares about fundraising or maybe power.
And who the hell died and named Karl Rove Queen for the day?
The similarly named Conservative Victory Fund even has a big "We're not Karl Rove" disclaimer at the top of their homepage. Rove has been on Fox News several times recently to swear he's no enemy of the Tea Party. He frequently carries a whiteboard listing his American Crossroads Super PAC's contributions to Tea Party candidates.
We are the largest financial backers of Tea Party candidates for the Senate and the House in the last two election cycles.
He has his share of supporters on the right, too. For example, a writer for Human Events thinks Rove's got the party's number. Republicans don't have a crisis of philosophy. The party's about as conservative as ever. They have a roster problem, a message problem, a persuasion problem. Right or wrong, they're not winning arguments. Tucker Carlson even went so far as to bash candidates like Akin and Mourdock, saying holding conservative views doesn't make you a successful politician.
If you can't, for example, attack abortion without appearing to endorse rape, you shouldn't be in politics. Go sell vinyl siding or do something useful with your life. So it's not a question of who's conservative, who's liberal. It's a question of who's articulate.
But despite Rove's protests that he has nothing against Tea Partiers, plenty of moderates and liberals agree with the conservatives that he's essentially launched an anti-Tea Party campaign. A columnist for the New York Times compared Rove's efforts to those of William F. Buckley to delegitimize the anti-communist ideologue group, the John Birch Society, back in the 1980s. Buckley, leading the National Review, scathingly attacked the society as living in a fantasy world and being removed from common sense. He advocated what came to be known as the Buckley Rule: nominate the most conservative candidate who can win the general election. But if Rove wants to return to the Buckley Rule, he'll run up against a GOP base more concerned with ideological purity. The Buckley Rule now has a cigar-smoking rival, the Limbaugh Rule: nominate the most conservative candidate, period, and trust a conservative message to win your elections. What's more, Rove may have put himself in the middle of an inter-party battle between the conservative base and the establishment. Party leaders see the Tea Party as a messaging liability, while the Tea Party brands the leaders rhinos, Republicans in name only. Any candidate seen to be standing up to the so-called establishment gains instant credibility, like Steve King. Rove said King might have a Todd Akin problem, implying he's a bad candidate. King, in turn, used Rove's attack as a fundraising topic with the base. The conflict has raised some tricky questions for party figures, like which side will Fox News support and what's the best move for candidates. Marco Rubio tried to split the middle, saying both sides have something to bring to the party's upcoming campaigns. But if Red State's Eric Erickson is any indication, the conservative side is going into the conflict with a take-no-prisoners attitude, saying of Rove's group, "I dare say any candidate who gets this group's support should be targeted for destruction by the conservative movement." The so-called civil war in the Republican Party is getting a lot of attention from the media, with analysts trying to guess the outcome, liberals crowing over the rivals' misfortunes, and comedians putting things in perspective.
You cross the Tea Party, and you could end up like the last candidate they targeted for destruction, Barack Obama. Think about it.
For Newsy, I'm Zach Toombs. Multiple sources, the real story.